Roger, sir. Can I have your next answer one more, please?
The gent you just saw on the screen, his name is Kevin Davison. He's from Nova Scotia, Canada. He's a former first responder, firefighter, paramedic. Now he's a country and western singer, and we'll get to that transformation of the song in just a little bit. The other guy you're going to see on the screen is Straus, who was a former first responder, firefighter, paramedic. Now he's a chaplain. As you know, you just have to laugh. It's about how humor and laughter help us in life's most difficult times, and its incredible value. And I asked Skip and Kev, why you guys have to laugh?
When you're dealing with people on the worst day of their life, on every call you go on, whether it's seems like an emergency to you or not, it's emergency to them, and so you're dealing with tragedy all the time. If you let that consume you, you wouldn't have a sense of humor left. You wouldn't be on the job very long.
Do you know guys that haven't lasted because of?
Oh yeah. We've lost people to suicides, to up and leave and never seeing them again. Many I've had.
Think about it this way. Think about it's your first day on the job as a firefighter, and the tones go off and your adrenaline starts pumping and you're going to a motor vehicle accident and you roll up on the scene and there's a dead baby in the back of the car that has to be extricated.
I remember one very clearly. 2 kids were killed in a minivan, and there was a young girl killed in the other vehicle. They hit head on, and it was just like, I can remember everything about it. The temperature, the darkness, the rain, everything. And I just remember the parents in the front seat when we pulled up, and they had bilateral femur fractures, and they couldn't get back to the back of the car to see there's 4 children in there, but 2 had already been killed. And what do? You tell them that they're okay?
How would you like to be that rookie firefighter and you have to literally crawl over dead humans to get to the live ones to try to help them?
You guys know what I do. I talk about how humor and laughter helps.
Yeah, it's leaving the scenes.
Okay. And why do you guys do that? Why do you have to do
it's
that?
that black humor to relieve that stress of what you've just seen. Everything you go on, these horrific calls, are just surreal. You've seen stuff that the rest of the people don't need to see. And so how do you deal with that on a shift-by-shift basis? And humor's the way you do it.
You get clouded when you get sad. You get, I don't know if I want to go do another call overnight, I don't know. So if you don't bring that out like that, like funny, I try, like we frig around a lot.
Do you?
Like, yeah.
Can you give me an example? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, just like the practical jokes, like we had to actually settle them down, because there was just, my truck was out on the side of the road for sale for $150. And I got call after call, and I'm working, and my phone's ringing, and I was like,
somebody put your truck on the side of the road?
Put a big sign on it, $150 or best offer, and it was a F-150. Awesome. Like, it was a beautiful truck.
That's awesome.
And they put my phone number on it. Yeah. So that people kept calling me, and I'm on shift. So when I got back to the base, I had to go get my keys and drive the truck back into the base, because it's parked on the road.
Why is that important? Do you guys do that?
Well, it's a camaraderie thing, too.
It is, yeah. And you try to get them back, and then it just turns into a... Luckily, a couple shifts later, we got back, and one of the guys had his truck in the bay washing. Well, they got an emergency call, and we went and covered their station, and I put his truck down by the helipad across the street, and he couldn't find it for 2 hours. I hid the keys.
We got posted at somebody else's station, somebody else got posted at ours, how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We get back to the station at 4 o'clock in the morning, ready just absolutely to crash, and they had taped our computer keyboard to the side of the desk. They'd taped the refrigerator shut, cellophane the toilets, the whole bit.
They got the heat turned up so high in the base one night that I woke up and I thought I was sick and ready to call in sick to go home, because I was sweating and hot, and I thought, what is going on in here? I stepped on the floor, which was in floor heating, and it was near burning my feet. So the guys had they pulled a pen apart and they squeezed it down and got into the thing, and they jacked up all the...
So this is the point I was talking about earlier.
I'm sweating thinking about it.
We're light years apart, man. He's in Nova Scotia.
You're in Nova Scotia, Canada.
And I'm in Texas, and we have the same stories.
Yeah.
Same calls.
6 million people versus...
Maybe 50,000?
So it's a small town.
Yeah, 50,000 probably.
Small town, do that. You got one?
I distinctly remember a lady who was quite sick, and she was vomiting quite a bit, and I was holding the bag for her, and she had vomited her teeth out into the bag. So I remember we brought her in, and I carried the bag in with me because her teeth were in it. And the hole in the top's only quite small, so I was going down with my fingers into the vomit, and I was pulling the teeth, but I kept dropping them in there. And so I do it again, I almost have them up, and I drop them. Your fingers aren't that strong, you got teeth in there, right? And so I got to the top, and my buddy was sitting beside me, and I said, I got to get these teeth out. But every time I drop into the vomit, I go, oh. And I kept doing that, so he starts laughing. And the nurses come down and want to report, and he's laughing so hard he's flatulating. And he's apologizing to the nurses.
See, this is what I love about these stories. You can't make them up. This isn't Hollywood. This is real stuff. And yet, you guys have been shut down. You wrote that song for a reason.
Yeah. I've seen so much stuff. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I wrote it for myself so I could go, I want people to listen to this song so they can kind of understand a little bit what we go through.
And Roger, sir, can I have your next answer?
It was a dark and stormy night, nor'easter rolling in. It's a long 12 hours, the power's out again. I pray for inner strength and that we don't lose no lives. Just another day in the first responders' eyes. Half a cup of coffee's gone, the first run comes in. A car slid off the road, there's a family trapped within. My heart beats like a hammer, I can barely catch my breath. I'm thinking the worst and hoping for the best. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Now my shift is finally over, I gotta deal with what's mine and try to find a way to leave those tragedies behind. So I hug my 2 children, I kiss on my wife. Just another day in the first responder's life. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Flashing lights fill the air, broken bodies everywhere. Another bad dream is stealing my sleep. 'Cause we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. And it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When sirens are gone, it keeps going on. When those sirens are gone.
Man, if you've been in the business more than a year, you've been through all that, especially after a fatality call involving a child.
Yeah.
That the first responders will tell us, I saw my child's face on that dead body.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you always refer
Oh, that gives
back.
me goosebumps, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess I want to point this out again, and that's your second call of the day, and you still got to run 4 more.
All right, but you got to run. You know,
Yeah.
in our case, we work 24-hour shifts.
In Houston,
that
Texas, which is nonstop.
Well, in the suburbs.
In the suburbs, okay.
And it was it would be 8 o'clock in the morning maybe is that first dead body call.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact,
Lot of
go
them.
back to something funny. You know, what's the first call of the shift at 0700?
Oh, something that makes you gag.
It's usually a dead body. It's usually
Something that you didn't eat your breakfast yet. Things aren't settled. The coffee's not through yet.
and
anything such as
the tones.
oh,
the tones. The tones.
Like 7:15.
The tones go off.
And you go, no.
And you know, an 82-year-old unconscious person, you know, CPR by dispatch,
Yeah.
right? And so we wrote a song that we sung en route to the call, which was start your day with a DOA.
This job will change who you are. It'll change. You know, you'll think way different. You're 1 call away from your last call, which means I have friends that have gone to car accidents on the highway and have pronounced everybody deceased and got on their cell phone and said, come to the supervisor, come pick me up. I'm not going back in that truck.
I'm done.
They will not step foot in an ambulance. And the supervisor picks them up and they are done. They never go back.
So what I tell them is to talk about it. If it's not to me or one of the other chaplains, find somebody you trust to talk to about it, because if you're not letting the steam out of the pot's going to explode one of these days.
And what helps the pot not explode for you guys is laughing about it.
Laughing about it.
Singing, laughing,
Chaplain.
trying to have fun. Chaplain.
It's important to somebody that's in the fields you are, that deals with the kind of stuff you guys deal with, hopefully deal with it, that have something else you do.
You have to.
Completely different, completely away from it.
100%, you have to. You have to have something else.
Even while you're employed as a first responder.
Yep.
You have to have something else.
Even if it's gardening, if it's
I'm a scuba diver.
doing a Rubik's Cube. Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have to have something that takes you away from that you don't have to think about all the time. And I find that people that are at work and they stay after work to talk about stuff, and then they're home and it's constantly work. That's when you find you get more stresses. I think so, because you can't let anything go as far as like work.
Yeah, those kind of folks their hobby is working their part-time job in a different fire department.
Right.
So he's giving me a tour of the fire station, and he says, the chiefs up north said you're a priest. And I said, because there's no word for chaplain apparently in Hebrew. And I said, no, I'm a chaplain. And he says, what? And I said, I'm like a counselor, so that I talk to firefighters and paramedics when they've seen too much on the job. And he goes, oh, okay. So we're doing this tour, and there's this one wall on the second floor of the fire station that has pictures of all the big scenes they've done. And one of them was this big picture of a bus bombing. And he stopped and he pointed and he said, that was my too much. We're the same all over the world.
Cause we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. And it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this hurting when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. when those sirens are gone, it keeps going on. When those sirens are gone.
Folks, if you're going through a difficult time, if you're a first responder, we thank you. Watch these. We have other episodes here at youjusthavetoLaugh.com/web series. So we sincerely hope it helps. Remember, we just have to laugh. We're just help healing the world one laugh at a time. Stay amused. Keep laughing at yourself. And the most important thing, don't forget to floss. Stay amused.